Investing for beginners, how to get started with just $1. 100, you know, I get a lot of letters, and one question I see more than any other is, Mr. Buffett, I want to start investing, but I don't have much money. Is it even possible? Well, let me tell you a secret. I bought my first stock when I was 11 years old. I scraped together $114.75. It wasn't a fortune, it was a start, and that's all you need, a start. So if you have $100 sitting in your pocket right now that you're willing to put to work, you have enough. The most important investment you can make is in yourself and your own financial education. Let's talk about how to do it the Buffett way. Start with your mindset, not your money, you know. So many folks look at the ticker tape and see a numbers game. They see prices jumping up and down, and they think that's what investing is all about. They're wrong. Investing isn't about numbers, it's about psychology, it's about temperament. Before you ever put a single dollar into the market, you need to put the right frame of mind into your head. The market is designed to be a device for transferring money from the active to the patient. It's that simple. If you walk in there thinking you need to make a fortune by next Tuesday, you're not an investor, you're a gambler. And the house always wins that game. I've always said the stock market is a no-called strike game. You don't have to swing at every pitch. You can wait for the one right in your sweet spot. That takes patience. That takes discipline. Think of it like planting an oak tree. You wouldn't put a seed in the ground today and show up with an axe tomorrow expecting firewood. You water it, you give it sunlight, you protect it from the elements. And you have the unwavering faith that given enough seasons, it will grow. Your $100 is that acorn. Your consistent contributions are the water. Your patience is the sunlight. The mighty oak is the wealth you're building. The problem for most people is they're so busy digging up their seeds to see if they're growing that they never let the roots take hold. So, get your mind right first. Understand that you are not betting on a stock. You are becoming an owner of a business, and you're in it for the long haul. That's the only edge you need. The S&P 500 index fund is the answer. Now, let's talk about what to do with that $100. The world is full of people, very smart people on television, telling you about this hot stock or that exciting new company. It sounds thrilling, doesn't it? Picking the one big winner. Let me tell you, for every person who brags about picking that one winner, there are a dozen who quietly pick the losers. With a small amount of money, trying to pick a single stock is not investing. It's concentrating your risk. It's like taking your one acorn and planting it where you know a herd of deer walks every morning. The beauty of the modern world is that you don't have to take that risk. There's a wonderful invention called the index fund. Specifically, one that tracks the S&P 500. Now, what is that? It's simply a collection of what I consider to be the 500 finest companies in America. By buying one share of that fund, you instantly own a tiny, tiny piece of all 500. You own a dairy farm, a software company, an auto manufacturer, a bank, a chocolate bar maker, all in one single purchase. Why is this so powerful? Because you're betting on American business itself. It's not a bet on whether company A will do better than company B next quarter. It's a bet that over the next 20, 30, 40 years, American ingenuity and commerce will continue to move forward. And I'd much rather bet on that certainty than on the fleeting hope of finding a needle in a haystack. It's the ultimate form of diversification for the small investor, and it's the one I recommend to virtually everyone who asks. Automation is your secret weapon. The best investment plan in the world is worthless if it just sits in your head. It has to become a habit, as regular and as thoughtless as brushing your teeth. The enemy of building wealth isn't a down market. It's human nature. It's procrastination. It's the temptation to use that money for something else this month because you'll make it up later. Later rarely comes. This is where you get clever. You make the process automatic. Once you've chosen your brokerage and decided on that index fund, you set up a system. You link your checking account and you instruct the brokerage to pull out a set amount of money, be it $20 or $100, on the same day every single month right after you get paid, and immediately use it to buy more of that fund. You set it up once and you forget about it. You're not making a decision each month. The decision was already made. You're removing emotion from the equation. You're doing something called dollar cost averaging, which is just a fancy term for buying consistently no matter if the market is up or down. Sometimes you'll buy when prices are high, sometimes when they're low. But over time, it all averages out. This automation ensures you're consistently planting those acorns, rain or shine. You're building your forest without even having to think about it. The money is working for you before you even have a chance to think of a reason to spend it. That's how you win the game. Time is more valuable than money. If there's one thing I wish every young person could understand, it's this concept. It's not about how much money you start with. It's about how much time you give that money to grow. A small amount of money given a long, long time to work is infinitely more powerful than a fortune that has no time to compound. Let me explain how this machine works. It's called compound interest. It's the process where you don't just earn a return on your original money. You start earning a return on your returns. It's interest on interest. It's like rolling a snowball down a very long hill. At first, it's just a handful of snow. But as it rolls, it picks up more and more snow, and the ball itself gets bigger and bigger, and it picks up snow at a faster and faster rate. The longer the hill, the bigger the snowball becomes. You, right now, are standing at the top of the longest hill you will ever have. That $100 you start with today has decades of rolling ahead of it. A person who starts at 45 has a much shorter hill. They have to throw a much bigger snowball just to try and catch up to where you could be. Don't be intimidated by a small starting amount. Be thrilled by the massive amount of time you can give it. The money is the seed, but time is the sunshine and the rain. You can find more money later, but you can never, ever get more time. That's why starting now with whatever you have is the single most important financial decision you can make. You are building a business of one finally. I want you to shift how you see yourself. You are not a gambler at a casino. You are not a speculator hoping for a lucky break. You are the CEO, the chairman, and the board of directors of your own financial future. You are running a business called your life. And the goal of any good business is to have your income, your earnings, exceed your costs. The difference is your profit. Now, what does a smart business do with its profits? It doesn't just spend them all on a party. It reinvests them back into the business to make it stronger, more efficient, and more valuable for the future. That's exactly what you're doing. Your $100 is your first reinvestment. Your automatic monthly contributions are your ongoing capital investments. You are building an asset. This index fund you own is an asset that will work for you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, without you having to lift a finger. It will earn dividends, and those dividends will be reinvested to buy more of the asset. You are building a machine that prints money for your future self. So run your business wisely. Keep your costs low. That means avoiding fees and fancy investment schemes. Reinvest your profits relentlessly. And never, ever forget that you are the boss, and the decisions you make today will determine the health of your business for decades to come. So, you see, the secret wasn't ever a secret at all. It's all right there in plain sight. It doesn't require a fancy degree or a trust fund. It demands something far more valuable, a little bit of discipline and a whole lot of time. You have the map now. You start by planting a single seed with that $100. not by swinging for the fences, but by owning a piece of the entire forest through that index fund. You water it faithfully, automatically, every single month, without fail. And then, most importantly, you exercise the one thing that is both the cheapest and most valuable tool you have, your patience. You let the seasons do their work. You let the compounding happen. Remember, you are not just saving money, you are building something. You are the chief architect of your own future, laying one brick at a time. There will be storms, the market will have its winters, but the history of this country is a history of springtimes always following winters. If you understand that, you won't fear the winters. You'll welcome them as a chance to plant more seeds on sale. The question is no longer if you can do it. We've settled that. You can. The only question that remains is will you? Will you take that first simple step? Will you open that account? Will you make the decision to pay your future self first? Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is today. The best tree to plant was 20 years ago. The second best tree is today. So go on. Get started. Your future self will look back and thank the you of today for having the wisdom to simply begin. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to have a cherry coke. Do something sensible with your money.